Hey everyone, so today I will again be reviewing one of the very good books. It's a very short book. It's not that long, so you should be able to finish it quite easily. But it has a very good explanation of things that are important for us, not just in terms of the traditional financial success a person looks at, but also aside from that, things that are connected to everything you do, and it does make a huge difference in the long run. Anyways, the book is Ikigai, and I will begin by reading a few extracts from it. So here's the first one: stressed, accused of killing longevity. Many people seem older than they are. Research into the causes of premature aging has shown that stress has a lot to do with it, because the body wears down much faster during uh, periods of crisis. The American Institute of Stress investigates this degenerative process and concluded that most health problems are caused by stress. So, here you go. Premature aging, looking older than you are, a lot of people, stress might be one of the reasons. Does that apply to me? Let's not think about that right now, shall we? But still, all those of you who want to look really youthful late into their 30s and 40s have less stress. Just something to keep in mind. This one is actually true though, because I have met people who just feels a lot older than they are, and you can tell by their expressions and everything that their approach to life is very serious. Am I one of them? Not sure, no idea. But anyways, continuing on the next one. Just as a lack of physical exercise has negative effects on our bodies and mood, a lack of mental exercise is bad for us because it causes our neurons and neural connections to deteriorate, and as a result reduces our ability to react to our surroundings. This is why it is so important to give your brain a workout. Physical workouts are good, but you also need mental workouts. Read books, do critical analysis, try to be situationally aware, learn a new skill, give your brain something new to try out, be in a different environment. Because that has an equally important impact in ensuring that you have a long and fulfilling life, just as the same as a workout. People have like really big biceps. What about the brain? Eh? Did you just because people can't look at your brain and it doesn't have that physical attractiveness to it, you ignored it. But the brain actually plays a very important role in everything you do, including those biceps. Don't trade your mental neurons for protein shake, please. But anyways, continuing on. Food won't help you live longer. The secret is smiling and having a good time. So they interviewed 100 centurions, people who've lived over 100 years old, and one of them said, "Yuki, food is the least important thing." She extroverted and rather pretty. She likes to talk. Yeah, food won't help you live longer, she says, bringing to her lips a bite of the diminutive confection that allowed our meal. The secret is smiling and having a good time. So, diet is true, but also smile and have a good time. Coming from someone who has lived over 100 years old, she's qualified to say that, isn't she? Like 5 times my lifespan. Moving on. Present is all that exists, and it is the only thing we can control. Don't worry about the future or the past. He who has a why to live for can live with anyhow. This was one of the most important quotations I figured out in this book. He who has a why can figure out anyhow. Find your why, your ikigai, your purpose, and then no matter how difficult things get, you will be able to go through them. Because you know what's at stake, you know why you want to do it, you know you love to do it. It is special to you, it is important to you, so you go through with whatever comes your way. Anyhow, you figure it out, whatever it takes. This moment exists only now and won't come again. Make the best of it. But anyways, these were some of the key interesting takeaways. Let's go back to doing a breakdown of the notes that I make while I read the book. There are a lot of them. So essentially, the book starts by talking about the blue zones, which are the areas where people live for very long time. The main focus over here was ogimi in Okinawa, I think so, if I pronounce that correctly. Uh, but yeah, so we focus on that and there and why, because this village had the highest number of centurions, people living over 100 compared to any other blue zone out there in the world, which is something if you like a long life, even not just in terms of you don't want to live longer, but also age slower as you progress through your life, uh, which is important in terms of business and every other aspect. Don't forget that. Health, wealth, love, and happiness, one of the pillars breaks down. You won't manage anything else. If you're a billionaire but you can't get out of bed, what's the point? But yeah, and also, if not just for yourself, read these books for your family members, for your parents, who are old and you think it's time they need to stop. They need to adopt a different lifestyle. But anyways, moving on. The grand essentials to happiness in this life are something to do, something to love, and something to hope for. Washington Burnap. Another interesting quotation. Ikigai. So Ikigai essentially is a mixture of these four questions: what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. So these four combine, and that is your Ikigai. Um, and it varies from person to person. Everyone has a different Ikigai. It literally means a reason for being. Raison d'etre, as it is called alternately, but your reason for being, for existing. Find your Ikigai, and that will make a huge impact in your life. Otherwise, you just keep on walking directionlessly like a fool, stumbling from wall to wall, running into problem after the other, not knowing what's going on. Many Japanese people never really retire. They keep on doing what they love as long as their health allows. Because once you find something you love, you stick to it. It's like how Warren Buffett talks about it. If I stop working, it will probably mean death. So the vacation is not the target, it is doing something that you really admire. And that makes every day fun. That tap dancing to work mentality when you want to get out of bed in the morning because you're looking forward to what the day includes. Find something like that in your life. Okinawans live by the principle ichari bachode, a local expression that means treat everyone like a brother even if you've never met them before. Might be a bit complicated in the current world with hormonal teenagers who are too self-conscious, but for yourself at least, to keep yourself stress-free, don't be self-conscious. Treat everyone normally like a friend. Uh, and see how that goes. It brings out a genuineness in you because you're not trying to take advantage of someone or you're not trying to approach it with like a specific gain or loss sort of mentality. If you just treat everyone like a friend or a brother, you're genuinely interested in them, that naturally brings out the best in you and the other person and the interaction in place. Your authentic self, right? Moving on. Celebrations were important. Um, I'll come to this later. So here are some of the things that are included in Ikigai. He later talks about Morita and logotherapy, which I won't discuss. It didn't. It was good, but like the concept of Ikigai was much better though. But anyways, moving on to flow, which is another interesting key concept in this book. So there is a book written by Mikhail Csikszentmihalyi. This is literally, if you can't pronounce the name, it's like Cheek sent me high. Cheek sent me high, that's how you pronounce it. So flow is like a mental state of we are present in the moment and you give your all to whatever you're trying to do. And if you stay in the state of flow, time just sometimes, flies by, you're completely immersed in it, you're having fun, you're enjoying it. Um, and It means like you're fully engrossed in something. Basketballers have that experience when they're on the court. Fully focused, every instinct of their body is completely present in ensuring what they're trying to do. Like that sort of persona. So when you're doing something that you love, you go into a state of flow, optimal experience, and that has a very long lasting impact on your overall well being, scientifically as well, prolongs your life. So, and your performance quadruples, let's just put it that way. You're better than everyone else at whatever you're trying to do. So, definitely try to achieve a state of flow, which is connected to finding the Ikigai and doing the job you love. And avoid stress. Don't do shit that um, you don't want. Positive outlook helps you age slower. A little stress is beneficial though. This is something he talks about later, how just the right amount of stress is beneficial, because if we are always having pleasure, our body, like literally, we don't learn the lessons or the value, and we don't, um, on a biological level, start wanting to adapt or improvise. So you need somewhat of stress, which is going to happen. It is something you kind of look forward to. It would be boring if everything was given to you on a plate just like that. The line between, like, you value something because you had to go through stuff to actually get to it, and accept the failures and the problems and everything there will come across the journey. If you approach them with a positive mentality, you know it's worth it because you're doing it for something you care about, then you should be fine, regardless of how difficult things get. People who live the longest have a positive attitude and emotional awareness. So, positive attitude and emotional awareness, being aware of their emotions and the emotions of others. Because emotions dictate your thoughts and actions to some extent. Actually, they're interlinked. Thoughts create emotions as well. Still, when you're aware of what is triggering those emotions and you can control it and deal with them accordingly, get them in a positive way, it's like how that lady jokes about. As you get older, you can literally play out the whole scenario in your mind. Uh, if I get this emotion, then I'll react like this and it will lead to this outcome, so you make changes accordingly. But, anyways, be emotionally aware. Perhaps read the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. It is a very interesting key takeaway that discusses this topic, and you need to know something to handle it properly. And emotions are extremely important. Um, Not just for you, but for dealing with other people as well. You might think you have an understanding for them, but it always pays off to learn more about something so significant. Like, we learn stupid shit like birthdays of celebrities or weird stuff like that, but the most important person, us, you're not aware about yourself. Like, why not? It's time to stop. I mean, yes, you will occasionally, at a trivia match, they might ask you some question regarding that. But every day you're spending it with yourself. Why don't you know everything about yourself yet? Isn't that just arrogance? Anyways, moving on. Stoic attitude also helps by delaying anxiety. Because, well, Stoicism is also for, like, not for you're working hard today because you know there will be a better tomorrow in the future for it, so you don't feel anxious about it. But yeah, continuing on to the most important key takeaway from this book, aside from your reason for being avoiding stress and anxiety, having a positive outlook, approaching life with a big smile on your face, doing what you love, similar to Richard Branson, sort of. But here are some other key takeaways in terms of living longer, okay? Like, concrete ones. 100% of the people we interviewed keep a vegetable garden. Strange, isn't it? 100% of the people, the centurions that have lived longer, have a vegetable garden. I'm gonna start a vegetable garden today after this. Most of them Also have fields of tea, mangoes, shikisawa, and so on. That's a bit complicated. I don't think I can get a field of tea in Brisbane right now, but might be worth trying. They eat at least 5 servings of fruit and vegetables every day. The key is variety, so they literally eat a whole variety of food. You're not just eating meat, you're not just eating um, like carbs or something like that. You eat a variety. You hold celebrations with your friends. Good friends play a huge role. And there's something they talked about Okinawa, how they don't have trains. Ogimi is the only place that has no trains, so people walk a lot. Exercise is part of their lives, and how they have the team email, so they have to squat for it to pick things up and everything. And then they are always busy. They're tending the vegetable garden, so they don't go to the gym. But it's just something they have made into a part of their lifestyle. Okay, the physical activity and all of that. They're doing something they're passionate about. The Ikigai, they have good friends, don't have to worry about social media or people pleasing or anything like that. Don't worry so much, smile a lot, and eat healthy, sleep on time. Similar to Amish, sort of, but, anyways, moving on. These Ogimi people will be my Amish that um, Ty talks about, but anyhow. And the easiest way to check is if there is enough variety on your table is to make sure you're eating the rainbow. So, rainbow, every color, every food of every color. Interesting, isn't it? But yes, essentially, do things for joy. And all of these stresses that you might think are your going to be worth it in the future will get you accomplishment or whatever, it likely won't be that way. And if you just turn a blind eye to this, would have drastic measures in the long run. That's one of the reasons why I read a lot of books, to come up with these things that break my own mental beliefs. Hustling is important. Struggling in life is definitely important. But would you rather do it with a smile on your face? Or would you rather do it stressed out about it? Are you going to hustle for something that you're genuinely passionate about? Or are you going to do it for something that you don't give a shit about because everyone else says you need to struggle, get a job, get a degree, all of that weird stuff? Life is short, you only live once. And yes, there will be times when things won't be the most pleasant of the bunch, but if during those times you know the exact reason why you chose to walk on the path at the first place, you know what lies at the end of it. There are people around you who support you, and you feel at peace because of that. And you're healthy as well. I suppose you can take on anything.